Hey Rosebuds, it's your girl Nairi Rose, and we are back with a new episode. I am here with a very special guest, Juniper, aka Junie, is sitting here with me. And although we recently met, I feel like you have such a gift, and I feel like your gift should be shared because I've never met someone as organized and humble as you. You do a lot when it comes to organizational strategies in business, and being that you're a young person, I'm like, where did that come from? I know these skill sets are implemented like from childhood, which I want you to kind of explain, but if you could, in 3 words, how would you describe yourself?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. Give me one moment. That's a very hard question.
It is. What are the first things that come to mind? Just let it flow.
Curious, motivated, and stubborn.
Stubborn, okay. Curious. I love curiosity. I feel like if you are curious in any way, it just expands your mindset and it helps you grow. So did you know since a child, like you were curious? Is there like a story that sticks out for you to where you're just like, okay, this is how I know that I'm on the right path?
No. I was really interested in a lot of different subjects. So I was really into creative art. So I was delving into writing because I have a novel and I'm actually working on getting that published at a library soon in the next couple of months.
Okay.
And if not writing, it was fashion. So I was either drawing, I was working on sewing, I was figuring out patterns and fabrics. I went to a school that actually majored in fashion, and I had friends who were in the fashion department, and I would either be really curious about their styles or I would talk to the teachers after school and just kind of figure out how to work that. And then if not, actually in high school I majored in interior design, so I went down that route for architecture and history and just different types of styles. When it came down to construction, I went kind of down to the whole market range of labor, but in the creative way.
Right. So you said that you went to like a really good school, and I know it's like a magnet similar to like not public but private or charter schools. And being that you have that experience, would you say, because I'm pretty sure you have peers who went to public school, do you feel like there are opportunities that lie within going to those types of schools, whether it be a magnet, private, or charter?
I think it depends on what people consider an opportunity, because I know most public students, if they're not exactly career driven at the age of like 13, 14,
Right.
as most kids are, or their parents believe that they are, to put them into that school. The opportunities don't really seem like opportunities, they seem like more work. So when I went to that school, I was already kind of excited to do all of that, and I was either really interested in fashion or interior design, and we couldn't exactly double major unless you were older and had enough credits to, and just kind of go back and forth within the classes. But for me, my opportunities are more along the lines of studying a lot, and regardless of my freshman year, because most kids usually relax their freshman year,
Right.
I graduated with a lot of credits to the point where I technically graduated early, but considering the Clark County system,
Right.
I had to still continue my high school in a college pursuit, and it's still in high school, except the high school only gave me college credits and I was already working on my degrees. So my opportunities were really just trying to jumpstart on my college life and then get my degrees faster and then get accustomed to business, which is what you were saying earlier.
Right. I feel like people sleep on the fact that, yes, it's labor, but it's hard work. And that hard work is implemented when you do have those practices to study. And being that I'm an educator as well, I really want students to know, like, you know, just because it's AP, don't shy away. Or just because it's magnet, do not shy away. Or private, don't shy away from those things. So I love that you said it comes down to the actual opportunity. Because if a person can't conceptualize it to be something that can propel them, then they're not going to do it. So I really appreciate that. Now, being that you are a beautiful woman, and I'm so glad that you're on this platform, I really want to like have more conversations with women and kind of unpack some of the things that we go through. So I did like ask you beforehand to think about like women who inspire you. Who would you say is a figure in your life, or maybe someone you don't know, that's inspired you thus far?
I'd say 3 people. If it's a celebrity, I'd say her name's Priyanka.
Okay.
Most people either know her from her movies or her activism, but if not, mostly because of her husband. He's one of the Jonas Brothers. She does a lot for activism for feminism. She does a lot for women and coming to career opportunities. She comes into a lot for just her family. And I appreciate how private her life is, yet her beliefs are very, very public. And then when it comes down to, I'd say someone who's passed away, I'd say my grandmother. She passed when I was younger, so when it comes down to memory-wise, it's more of like a childhood hero or childhood, like a memorabilia, like something that I recognize as familiar. And she was, I'm always compared to her with my family.
Really? Okay.
She was very, very stubborn and hard-headed, and she very much liked to just be very proactive when it comes to people, when it comes to her life and just things that she liked to enjoy. Like she loved to dance and she loved food and she loved sweets. And those were my favorite memories as a kid. And when she passed away, I was maybe about 10 or 11. And the best things that I could remember were her just laughing and her red lipstick and her hair and how she liked to always dress like really, really fancy before she left anywhere. So I kind of took over those attributes, I believe, when I got older. And then the person who I'd say recently would be my mom. She's basically a hustler. She has a really good job, but she's always liked to do something that's creative. So she's obsessed with Hobby Lobby. And
Yes.
she's obsessed with Hobby Lobby, and she either has, like, I don't know, I would say side hustles, but she has a small business basically for home decor, where she does sublimation. She does a lot of cups, a lot of books, a lot of homeware, artsy things like notebooks and coloring pages and things that are really articulate to people who are moms with kids, a lot of people who like holidays, anyone who has had family members that's passed away. She makes a lot of memorabilia stuff for them, like on tumblers. If not, she's just really into creating, because she's done a lot of conventions, and she just somehow finds a way that even when she's like bored and, you know, still at home, or she's outside and talking with people, even though she's very, very not a people person.
And you said this is your aunt?
This is my mom.
This is your mom, and she's all of these characteristics. She sounds like a go-getter.
Yeah, she's an overachiever. I think that's where I got it from.
She's an overachiever. Okay, so the first one you said was Priyanka?
Yeah, Priyanka.
Or Priyanka?
Yeah, I believe her last name is Chopra.
Okay, was she like in the culinary world a little bit?
I'll be honest with you,
she's done a lot.
She's done a lot of things.
Yes.
Most people know her from her older movies when they're old generations, and then she got into music, and then she basically started getting into more activism and more public for fashion.
Yes.
And then I believe there's like speculation that's what she was getting in a relationship with one of the Jonas Brothers, which is so funny because I don't know which name it is.
I think
it's like Jonas or Nick or
Nick. I don't know.
I'm so serious. Like, I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah. But like to do that in silence and be with someone who has their own like motion and celebrity status. When I see her, like, she's a power statement.
I agree. That's I really like her a lot. I relate to her in many, many aspects.
Well, we're giving you your flowers right now in this moment. And then the second person you said is your grandmother. Now, you said that she was stubborn.
Yes.
Why do people who are stubborn get so much flack? I don't understand. I feel like when it comes to stubborn, I mean, it can be parallel to like being a rebel. But when people see someone who's stubborn, there's a lot of judgment that comes with that. And you say you described her like bold, wearing red lipstick, you know, and you've taken some of those traits. I would say the same for my grandmother. And being that you said you were 10 when she passed, were you prepared for her passing as a child?
Yes and no. She passed away with dementia.
Oh my
And
goodness.
before that, she had cancer. I don't remember which cancer. My grandma, how she put it was she had a cut on her knee, and a spider crawled into it and bit her, and it was like a venomous spider, kind of like Spider-Man in a sense.
Oh my
And
goodness.
they had to remove the spider before it got to the rest of her body. And she was trying to explain to me that that's why she had her leg amputated, was because she had a cut on her knee and she had to remove it. So that was like the best way that she could explain something to me. So I always thought it was like the coolest thing in the world that she had the amputated leg. And obviously when you think about it and you're growing up around her, like that's just, you know, like that's more of a disability, or that's more of like a hindrance or a burden to people. But like to me, my grandma made it like so cool, and I was like, wow, I used to tell that story to everybody and they look at me weird. Like I was so happy to tell people that, and I was like, no, that's so awesome. She saved herself with a spider. And that was also one of the reasons why I hated spiders for a good minute.
You hated spiders?
Yeah, bugs just freak me out.
Well, they are a little freaky, but I'm learning not to step on them as much. I'm giving grace to the bugs, to just let them kind of like crawl.
You know,
even the roaches. You can't step on them though. How do you get rid of a roach?
No, I can't say that. That's no, I'm
But it's funny that you brought up spiders, because I lost my grandmother around the age of 8 or 9. It was hard. I saw death way before her, but then to see someone that I was just like, no, not you. Like they can all go, but you can't leave me. No, like it just as a child, my thoughts about it were so different. But when it came to the spider thing, when my grandmother was younger, she was ironing and something happened where the iron fell on her hand. And this isn't your plug-in iron. Like back in the day, they had like just I don't know, you had a gas stove and you like it had to catch fire, so it fell and all of her skin, it melted, so it looked like webs. But like how you're looking like the amputated leg, but like we look at these women like they're so cool and magical, but it's like, what the heck?
I see what you mean now.
It's trauma, but it's like the way they put it. So she'd be like, oh, that's my spider web, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, whoa, her skin is like webbed together. It was so interesting.
I think it's always the story
it's
behind it that freaks people out.
But it makes you feel seen in a way, and it's just like, that's why we love grandmas. Are so slept on, but we need them. We need good grandmas. Like it doesn't necessarily matter maybe how they were with your parents, and hopefully that was a good relationship, but when it comes to the grandmas, respect to them.
Yeah, my grandma was very special. I always actually made a book about how her and my grandpa met, and it's very...
Is this the one that you're about to publish?
No, actually this one, the one I'm about to publish, I've been working on since I was in middle school. I believe I was 11. I was like a year and a half younger than everyone. So when I say middle school, think of like you just got out of elementary. I was 10 to 13. And then that's when I went into high school, and I was like still 13 to 14 because my birthday, how it kind of set up with the school system. But the book I'm trying to publish is a young adult fantasy romance thriller. So it has a lot going on. I'll be honest with you, it has a lot. I already have like 3 novels for that.
Join the canon. Be a part of the canon. There are so many authors out there putting out young adult literature, and we need more of those voices to be heard.
I agree. That's also one of the reasons why I created the book for my grandma and my grandpa. How they met was so funny to me. I don't know like the exact specifics, but all I know, it was, think of it like the canon, where a woman's in a relationship and she's on this date and she's at this club and they're playing a lot of music and she's dancing. She goes sit at a bar, and then she's with a Navy or an Army. I'll be so serious with you. I have no idea the difference when it comes down to the two.
Right.
But she's with one of them. And that was her current boyfriend at the time. And then my grandpa sees her from afar. And the guy that she was with goes to get her drinks, and my grandpa comes in and swoops her away and dances with her all night, and then asks her to be his girlfriend. Like immediately. And he just got deployed in Long Beach, California, which is where they were. And then the next day they had, I think it was the next day or a couple days later, they had their first date at the Forrest Gump restaurant in Long Beach.
Bubble Gumps. Love that.
And how my aunts like to tell me is that basically they used to have their dates there all the time, and then that's when they officially got together. And then that's how my whole family kind of just started, was because my grandpa decided to, just swoop in on my grandma and make her leave her man at the time.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Leave? Did you say leave somebody?
Yeah,
leave
she was in
man?
a relationship with the man who was on the opposite part of, like, his, that's what I'm saying. I don't know the two difference.
Is that love at first sight?
I would say so, because I've experienced that.
I ask this question a lot, especially with students. Do you believe in love at first
Oh,
sight?
100%. I experienced that like 2 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
I'm with my current person right now.
You're with the love of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you saw that person, how did you know? How did you know that that's the love of your life?
This is very embarrassing because, like,
it's
they're
okay.
over there.
It's fine. It's a safe space. I could tell you my story.
We met on a cruise, and it was very emotional for me during that time. And I actually had a similar situation with how my grandma was. I was in, like, a weird between space with a person I was in a relationship with beforehand, and we weren't really together, but we were still in communication, and I decided to basically just reach out to a family member of mine that I've not spoken to in years, and they reached back out to me during that process of how I was feeling, and it ended up being where they were like, hey, let's go on a cruise. There's a free cruise. All you have to do is just show up. And considering I haven't spoken to them in years, I was like, no. I was like, that sounds awesome, but no.
Right.
And my mom, she was like a go-get. She was like, go on a free cruise? She was like, you're going to be stupid not to go. And I ended up going. First couple hours, like it had to be like maybe the first hour after boarding and you get your suitcases by the door. I had my camera, and I'm a photographer, so I was honestly just taking pictures of everything I could see. The first person I took a picture of was my current boyfriend now, and he was playing basketball at the courts, and how he likes to put it, I was stalking him. I was not stalking him.
Everyone stalks, or just everyone stalks, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine, you're not the first.
Yeah. And my excuse to talk to him was to grab, because he was playing basketball with my cousins at the time, who I've also been like estranged with. So my excuse was to go get all of them waters and then go up to him and be like, hey, you need to. I did have a plan. That's what I'm saying. He put it up as like stalking.
Okay, Joe Goldberg.
Right.
No,
right.
We're just
okay. And then I ended up actually going to his friend at the time, and he actually, I found out that he was an estranged family member of mine that I just never met, ever. And by the time when I had left communication with that family, that's actually when my current boyfriend was introduced to my family. So it was just kind of crossing paths. Yeah. And we just kind of were introduced by him, basically, and then we just spent the whole week together. And I think it was a couple days in, and I just kind of broke off things officially with that person. I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to be what I want. Like, this is actually what I want right now. And it ended up being, I believe, the day where you get off the cruise, and it was very nice. And I guess he saw me first on the boat, and I didn't see him.
Okay, so
but
you've been peeped.
At least how, like, I guess how he'd like to put it. And as soon as we're getting off of the actual boat to get back on the cruise ship, I had a feeling to look and go by the elevators because I wanted to go to sleep. I was tired. I purposely made it to where every single day on that cruise I did not sleep, so I was busy. I was at the art museums. I was at the dancing, like, club things. I was at the restaurants. I was eating. I was just stargazing. I was at the little pole, like, where you could look outside and look at the ocean. I was doing everything. But the one thing I felt like doing at the moment was going to the elevators, and he was there. Yeah, and he was staring. And then we just kind of hung out, like, ever since then. Yeah, and then I actually skipped out on my family dinners to go hang out with his family and have their dinners. And I believe it was the last day of the cruise, and it was raining, like, in LA. That was where the cross point was to get back to your cars. And he was like, do you need an umbrella? Like, are you going to come with my family to come back to Las Vegas? And his mother had offered, and it ended up not being going where I went with them. But that whole thing was, like, really big to me.
That was a lot of trust.
Yeah, it was. The whole thing was a lot of trust. And I think it was the next day, it was Christmas Eve. I got home and I was with my family that I was estranged with, and I just got back with them. And they were supposed to take me back to my mom's, but we didn't really know what was going on at the time. And it ended up being where my mom came to get me. And from there, she was like, so tell me about this boy you met, because every single day on the cruise, I did a diary. And because I didn't have Wi-Fi, I would send it. So as soon as I got Wi-Fi and my phone connected, it would mass send to anyone who I wrote to on like in Gmail. And that's how I connected it to.
Okay.
So the day of that we got off the boat, the island, he saw me first. My messages had mass sent to my mom, so she just saw from like 3 days of emails of like how my days have been going from like timestamps.
But you meant to send it to her?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting.
And
okay.
I basically just wanted to catalog my time there, but I couldn't like keep it, because if I did it in notes, if I did anything else, it wouldn't save.
Wow.
So I did it where it would send to somebody or to myself, and I totally forgot about those, because when I came back, Mom was like, so tell me about that boy you met. Like, so who's he? How do you guys meet? Like, what's this going on? He's like, you want to invite him over? And it was Christmas Eve. It was the Christmas cruise that we went on.
Okay.
So he got to spend time with me for Christmas Eve, and my grandma's birthday is actually Christmas Eve also. So he basically told me like, happy birthday to your grandma. And that was a big thing to me.
Right.
And I think I only told him like once about it. And then he was like, do you want to spend time with my family? Because mind you, it was Christmas Eve to Christmas morning that he spent with my family. And his family was just gracious enough to like let him do that, because you know, it's a 1 week thing. Like, you just met somebody and now you're at their house.
This is so healthy, all of it. First, I just want to, because I like to go back to the beginning. I give you so much props for reaching out to somebody when you needed something. You reached out to someone, you advocated for yourself, which created an opportunity or an experience for you to meet a soulmate or a partner. But it started with you, like, doing something for yourself and not neglecting where you were at. So, like, that's big. Another thing is, because people really don't realize the power of, like, adults and elders that are around you when you're finding love. And their words and thoughts and even their experiences hold so much weight. So for you to be on this cruise, on a body of water, which I'm like really afraid to do. I have not been on anybody's cruise. And then you meet somebody and then y'all just vibe and then you're spending time with their family. Like, I would love to do that. I feel like when I was brought up very strict, you had to court somebody. It's kind of like an interview.
How I brought up too. That was how I brought it too.
So it's kind of just like to have that kind of like freedom, tap into that inner child, you know, and just like explore your curiosity with your partner. It's pretty lit. I love that for you. For both of y'all.
I gave it like 2 weeks after that. I asked him, like, so what are we doing? Like, I like you. What are we doing? And that's how we got together. So it's been almost 2 years now. Like, give it maybe more than a year and a half. So give it till around like Christmas time be when we first officially met each other, but January when we'd be in 2 years.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I do want to ask you 2 more things. And being that you met this person and just in your relationship, is there any social thing that's going on or any trending topic that you feel like you can talk about that resonates with you, or something that inspires you to be the woman that you are as you are? It seems like you're a soft woman in your relationship.
Yeah.
So is there anything that kind of like helps you or hinders, you know, what you're trying to cultivate?
I'll be honest with you, social media is like a blessing and a curse.
It is.
So I did not know what that term was whatsoever.
Okay.
I'd never felt it before, never really knew what it was. I never really saw it either. Like the women in my family are very much like, they're very individual, very, very, very hard-headed, and very ambitious. So their lives are usually catered to by their family. So their families are their supporters, or they're their supporters. But either way, they're very like individualistic, and they're very to themselves as like a person.
Right.
But to me, I've always liked pleasing. I always liked those type of relationships where it's a giving one, not exactly one where you have to support or you have to do something. It's just more of something that's natural. And I've never really experienced that. But that's where I came from to feel from, or to yearn for. And I think with social media, it really much made it make sense too, especially with Black women. This is a very hard topic to get into, or at least for people to see as like a socially acceptable thing. But social media really opened up that standard for me. And then when it came down to it being a curse, it's just, as smart and intellectual as I am, social media is still very convincing. So
it is. It can be.
Yeah. So it can be very.
Because you feel like your phone is listening.
Yeah.
And then you'll see a reel, and it's. I was just talking about this. I was just doing.
Like, is it confirming something?
Yes. Is it a lie? Is it your ancestors? And then sometimes you have to bring yourself to reality and say, you know what? I read it and I'm just going to keep going. But you don't want to doom scroll. I'm learning about that doom scrolling. You want to get off of social media sometimes. But when it comes to it being like a blessing, in what ways is it helping you as a businesswoman?
I'd say 100% for marketing. Yeah, so like my business is called WWV. I work with, like I mentioned earlier, I work with a woman named Crystal, also two other women that are named Charlene and Ashley. Awesome. They're creative directors and event sales planners, and Crystal is the founder for this project that we're doing, and then I'm the president. And considering what we're doing for social media marketing and how social media kind of ties into it, is we're reaching out and networking with women and women of all ages, all industries, and any passion, like any genuine interest that you have, whether it is an already like made industry or is it something that you literally just made up and got a job out of or created a job out of.
That's awesome.
And we work with them and we try to find funding, we try to find grants, and how we basically make our establishment like official and public and make income off of it is by creating opportunities for people to network and meet each other and make sure that their business is building. And we're not making profit or making some form of market structure or propaganda off of people, but in the sense of we're communicating and making a community versus just giving somebody a phone number. We're actually having you meet up, and we're having people like meet up in different states. We're having different HQ areas and offices where people can actually come to find information. And it's also already helped, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 individuals that I personally have met. And since we're all living in different parts of the US, like I have people in Alabama, I have people in Colorado, Chicago, and Oregon, but we're all still spread out, but it really does help with the reach. So like social media has very much made marketing so much easier. Like I think I've created a broadcast channel where I think 20 to 30 individuals have already joined just based off of the thread I put.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because I read something that said, stop worrying about how many likes you have. Don't worry if you have 200 likes. What if you had 200 people in the room with you?
Yeah, I've seen those pictures, and it's very out of sight, out of mind when you think of like, oh, there's like 50 likes, like, oh, that's not a lot compared to like 1 million. And even 1 million, if you look at the number, doesn't look like a lot.
It doesn't.
But if you have that in a room, if you have that many people complimenting you, or like just saying, hi, I saw your videos, or I love your content, like that's crazy.
Well, congratulations to you and the other 3 women. I can't wait to see what you guys do, and I'm going to make sure I tag your information so people can find you. Before we go, I ask this question of all my guests. Are there any misconceptions about women that you feel like you can clarify or help people understand? Because there's so many things that are said, and I feel like we are still, as women, divided in some spaces. So is there anything that you could talk about to help the audience kind of understand and gain perspective?
When it comes to women in business or just women in general, women who have goals and are ambitious in life, they are not men. They're women with goals, and that it is a beautiful thing to have a vision and want a life for yourself and want a life with someone else, but still make it your own. And I think women, when it comes down to their identity, it is not based off of what they do. It's very much based on who they are and how they present themselves to the world. And I'm not talking about like fabrics or how they articulate themselves with words, but just genuinely their emotion to things, their interest, their genuinity, their originality to things, and how they connect with people. And I feel like that's a big misconception when it comes to women and women in business, women in any market space or any space, really.
Give us our independence. We deserve it. It's not to be compared. It's not to be to where we're competitive. Even if you're stubborn, even if I'm stubborn, we still need our space. We need our creative space to think and do and produce. And yeah, absolutely, we are women, not to be compared to men. So I love that. Thank you, Juniper, for being on the Rose Garden. And like I always say, when life gives you thorns, search for roses. Peace.